Alright, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings here in Mendham and such. So first, just a little crap announcement sort of thing. So on the website, donotgod.com, on the home page, there is a little search function I have added, provided by Indite Evolution. Very nice person, really. Anyway, it's really clever in the sense that it will basically search the transcripts of all the videos that have transcripts on YouTube, and so you can do keyword or phrase searches and it will provide you a list of the videos. So I will hit the button and there it is, and it nicely gives you a bit of context for the word, and so it's really sort of interesting. You can search, and as long as the transcript spells the word right, I guess, you'll find it. It's pretty cool. And so I just want to make that known that that is available. I'll be adding other channels, so if you have some suggestion about channels worthy of indexing, so far I have the Inmendham channel, Draft Science, and Walter Lewin, but yes, others will be added. And just kind of a nice feature and such. I'm the only one who has it. And so, pretty cool. But, yes, the website needs other work, and I hope to be doing some of that soon. Now, I guess I'll just reload this page so I don't have to fix it. Anyway, for the purpose of the actual video. So, I'm also going to work on the Efilist website. So while I was there, I did, I played Amanda's movie once again, and it's just so impressive. So, I played the video and did a video on the video, on the movie, which I had done in the past, but it's time, it's way past time to do that again. Probably should be a birthday for the movie every year or something, just to re-recognize what a brilliant piece of art and philosophy it is. And so just saying, really is an incredible piece of work and deserves tribute. And so that's what I did. Yeah. Alright, so I'm probably talking about the little search thing here, so we'll move a little bit ahead and see what happens. Probably have to turn the volume down a little here. Probably. See. Should be ready to play, and I probably have to fix the volume up. Yeah, see? Brilliant. I probably have to make this louder now. Okay, so in both videos I have to fix the volume. Anyway, moving ahead. Feeling bad is worth it. But if it's not going to stop them from doing bad things, then they're feeling. Alright, so that was a little bit of a complex point that, all you have to do is get a little bit complicated and people lose all sense of reason, right? So if I say the word, it's like we're reincarnated, in the sense that every person arrives just out of nowhere. You arrive on Earth in a certain location, and now you have to figure out how to be a human being. And in a sense, it's just kind of a reincarnation of the idea of being a living human. Yes, you aren't reincarnated, but the idea of your life is reincarnated. Yeah, there will be somebody who'll be born in environments or circumstances similar to yours. They'll have adventures in life that'll be similar to yours. They'll learn similar lessons. And in fact, their life will be similar to yours. That's a kind of reincarnation. Oh, too complicated. All right, that wasn't what I was talking about, though. I was talking about a more subtle argument about the idea that, yes, it's okay to punish people. It's okay to cause pain if the pain will stop somebody else or them from causing pain to somebody else. So if you can prevent pain by imposing pain, then it makes sense. If you kill one person to save 10, it's just a logical equation, that kind of thing. If you can impose one cancer to prevent 10 cancers, it's just logic. And so, yeah, punishing people makes sense, even though you are causing harm, which is bad. but you're preventing a bigger bad, which is somebody else thinking they'll get away with it. Yeah, it's not that good. I mean, it's a little tiny subtle idea, the difference between punishing people and creating deterrence and stopping future crime. You know, not very complicated, but just shoots over most people's heads, and that's really a problem. Damn. And how important it is to prevent it and stop it and not let it happen again. But I can't, and I don't, so all I can do is understand. So I was pointing out how, yeah, I don't feel other people's pain, so it can't motivate me directly. It can't motivate me like my feelings motivate me. So my pain motivates me. Their pain can't motivate me in the same way. I have to first philosophically understand its existence, and then I have to emotionally allow it to sink in. What if it was me? What if it's me? What if it was me? I have to really force myself to feel their pain, and I still can't do it.
Commingling, lots of bad ingredients mixing badly.
Yes, that's a very Garyism. You know, that's the origin of it. There's no guiding principles, no anything. It's just, you know, replication for the sake of it, and the competition for the sake of it, and that's it. There's not any idea of creating perfection, because the definition of success and failure isn't about doing anything well. It's just about creating losers. You win, they lose. There's no rules. Dear, that's it. There's just stuff about making us more or less comfortable. And that's how you assign value to everything in the universe. Right, so it's not a very hard one either. I mean, this whole is-ought thing is just so silly. You personally experience really good feelings and really bad feelings. You experience the sigh of relief and the agony of pain. You can tell the difference. You know those two things have a value difference. They're not different because you spell the word suffering different than you spell the word pleasure. They're different because you physically experience it and can taste it. You can taste the difference. One is repugnant and one is very comforting. So it's just that simple, and you can understand that every brain is creating these sensations, and that's really all there is to play for here in the universe. The only game is how much pain will you cause versus how much comfort will you provide, and that's it. And comfort is prevention, frankly. How many bad things will you prevent versus how many bad things will you cause? That's what a smart person understands. Is usually hurting themselves to get rid of some other pain. So I was just pointing out how, yes, there are people who can thrive on feeling pain, but in all those cases you'll find that they're just using pain to remove pain. They're just murdering a part of themselves to stop it from murdering other parts of themselves. They're just doing the terribly double negative thing of saying, yes, it's worth throwing one person out of the lifeboat so you can save 10 people. That kind of thing. Caring for one another and actually doing it, but they decide to go to the disco instead. So I was just talking about the hippie generation and how they had the chance to change the world, and none of it was sincere or deep, and they decided to go discothequing instead. Saturday Night Fever. Ugh. Too foul. The war ends and the cause dies. All of a sudden there's not a problem. So the whole problem for hippies was the draft. There wasn't any other. The rest of the social ills were perfectly okay. They didn't bother fixing any of those. I mean, it's so stupid. I mean, you really can't believe people are that dumb. I think I'm talking about the God delusion, and you're just saying, yes, how do people fall for that crap? I mean, how do they realistically sit there and say, this is a reasonable belief I have? That's just too silly. And yeah, they're doing it out of desperation. They're doing it because they're not emotionally strong enough to face reality. Of, you know, rolling dice with your children, gambling is grotesque with somebody else's welfare. This is a grotesque thought. Yeah, so again, and it's all based on intelligence. Again, intelligent people clearly recognize the risks and the dangers and are clearly put off by them. And that's why they have fewer children. It's because they know how big a risk it is. And again, the slobs living in the shit, it doesn't even occur to them to wonder about something else's welfare, because they're just too busy being a bug. Efilism is the reason for the conclusion. So talking about antinatalism versus Efilism, and the fact that when this movie was made, they were more compatible ideas, but it became clearer and clearer to me that there were way too many people who were antinatalists for completely silly reasons, because they didn't like human beings, but they thought nature was wonderful. That kind of crap. And that's not an ally. That's a person who thinks nature is charming and pretty. That's not an ally. Logically, no is the right thing. It's compelled, all right, by emotions and that bias us and corrupt us. So that's the problem. We can intellectually know what the right thing to do is, but we're driven by these silly emotions that just corrupt. They constantly feed us with this self-interested perspective that always dilutes our capacity to do the right thing for the right reasons. Back you have to go. Yeah, to get a brain, you really just, you're talking, what, 400, 500 million years? Okay, so just over the details of when life became a problem, when it started painfully bleeding out. Okay, it bled out for quite a while. What it didn't matter because it wasn't conscious, and then one day it woke up and said, ouch. And that's when this game became an insidious, cruel misadventure. You press that button that has in it all the psycho killing, all of that, all these pro-lifers who are just, I can't even imagine them being this glib, but to say that they could comfortably say, yes, I'm confident it's running a profit, that they can think about all the horrors that have been experienced, all the miserably slow death, all the just awful human and animal experiences, and to trivially say, I'm sure it's worth it, I'm sure, my dinner with Andre will be worth it, it'll be so great, it'll be so interesting, so fantastic, that certainly it's worth torturing, forcing things to endure, millennia of torture. It's just crazy. The advantage.
We cannibalize each other. And
we cannibalize the environment. We suck its blood. Okay, so then it's just the truth. And people are, the vast majority of people on Earth are okay with that. They're okay with parasiting on other sentient creatures, torturing them, sentencing them to misery, so they can have a ham sandwich. Not because they have to have ham, it's because they just want it. They prefer it. It's more fun, and they're willing to make a huge change in their blood footprint on this planet for that extra bit of fun. And that's really poor thinking. Bad judgment. It's stupid. So something that isn't going to succeed and isn't going to experience life as a selfish being. So it's either got intelligence as its liability, it's too smart and it can see that it's too high a price is being paid for too little profit and it's not happy with that, or it has a physical disability or some. So talking about the nature of the victims, and yes, you can be a victim, without it being like you were born to it. You can acquire your victimhood by just recognizing I'm a decent thing living in an indecent world. You can figure out that the traditions and habits of the people you live with are cruel and brutal, that they're really just rapists, and you can figure out I don't want to be one of those. You can live in the age of slavery and you could realize this is horrible, and it could depress you. It could motivate you to live a different life, to maybe fight your neighbor instead of love your neighbor, because what you're living in is evil and cruel. So there are lots of victims. The victims aren't just Frankensteins. The victims are anybody, in my opinion, who's grown a little bit of dignity and intelligence through living, become a little bit sophisticated and civilized. They're going to see the meat grinder, and they're going to say, why are we pretending this is a fun house? It's a meat grinder. It's not a fun house. You don't throw your kid into its mouth. There's something real at stake. It's not just some silly notion. Yeah, pain and suffering. I think, but something like that. But anyway, just Old Fan did such a great job of all the artwork, the costumes, the whole thing was done so well. Just beautiful piece of art. Fantastic.
It fixes nothing! Nonsense! Life is a great idea! Why don't you just kill yourself? Because then I wouldn't be able to stop you!
Hard.
Oh shit! No! Don't!
Yeah, too good. Right. So that's just the simple logic. He's saving his little brother, as I point out. So that's the game. The monsters, the people who recognize I don't want to do this again, and I certainly don't want to do something worse. I had it pretty good, and it's far short of good enough. I saw way too much harm, way too much horror. And I didn't have to watch my kid die. I didn't have to watch a whole bunch of stuff that people have to live through. But I've seen plenty, more than enough to know I don't want to do it again. I don't want to live this life where it takes me 25 or 30 years to figure out I'm an asshole. I don't want to have to do all this over again. I don't want to have to be re-educated again and maybe be educated by complete morons in some Muslim nut house. No fucking way And so the only thing I can do is save the future me. That's where the reincarnation thing comes in. The future me, the future victim. I can only do, that's it. That's the only thing there is to rescue is the future. You can't fix the present. You can't go back and fix the past. All you can do is fix the future. And if there was a red button, that would be the simple way to fix it. Now there's not a red button, so we have to do it the hard, slow way, which is to get you to raise your hand and say, me too, I get it. Yeah, I get it. We have to do something to stop creating victims. We don't really have a right to keep sucking their blood. Yeah, not that difficult. So, I think that's about towards the end. We can go a little tiny bit more. Alright, time for another... Right back to the beginning. Yeah, okay. So anyway, so just a little tribute to a fantastic, effort made by Old Fan, and she did spent a year or two working on it, a little bit at a time, and it was really miraculously brilliant. And it's just unfortunate, yes, okay, the subject matter isn't going to win her any Academy Awards, but frankly, it was just a really clever and smart in terms of she took a big philosophy, a big pile of philosophy, and she consolidated it into a really well stated message. Anyway, so I guess we'll call that a video. And so till the next time and such and so forth and whatnot. I think that's it. Yeah. I'll have to do